I welcome Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the President of the Senate, the Speaker, House of Representatives, to this commission ceremony. I also welcome Your Excellency, the Executive Governor present, the Honorable Minister, NSA, Chief of Staff, and all the heads of department, captains of industries, development partners, member of diplomatic community, our contractor and consultant, my dear colleagues of Nigeria Revenue Service and that of the Villa, all distinguished guests to this historic occasion. Today marks far more than the commissioning of a building. It marks the culmination of a defining institutional journey, one that has spanned years of vision, persistence, complexity, and ultimately disciplined delivery. What stands before us is not merely an edifice of steel and structure, but the physical manifestation of a nation choosing order over drift, discipline over fragmentation, and execution over intent. It is the coming to life of a renewed fiscal vision, one that is structured, credible, and built to endure. Your Excellency, Mr. President, this moment is inseparable from your leadership and the reform agenda you've courageously advanced. When this administration assumed office, Nigeria faced a critical inflection point, marked by constrained fiscal space, weakened investor confidence, and structural distortion across key sectors. What followed was not an incremental adjustment, but a comprehensive reset of nation's economic and financial architecture. Through your decisive actions, Your Excellency restored macroeconomic credibility, unifying foreign exchange markets, clearing long-standing backlogs, and reestablishing confidence in Nigeria's ability to operate a transparent and market-driven system. These were not easy decisions, but they were necessary decisions, and the history will recognize them and be kind to you for such decisions. Building on this foundation, your administration undertook one of the most significant revenue reforms in Nigeria history. And to put that in perspective, the first tax law made in this country was done in 1903. That is 122 years ago. You changed that. Over 60 fragmented tax laws were streamlined into a simplified and more coherent framework, strengthening compliance, improving predictability, and enabling efficiency in administration. Crucially, this reform was not driven by higher tax burden, but by better system, broadening coverage, and stronger governance. The outcome speaks for itself, with Nigeria recording historic domestic revenue performance, demonstrating that discipline reform yield sustainable results. And to put this in perspective, Mr. President, 5 years ago, the total collection for Nigeria revenue was 6.8 trillion. And by 2025, Mr. President, you tripled that. You ended the year by 28.7 trillion. When I check your full year impact, which I call PBAT impact in 2024, you increased revenue by 76% compared to previous year. And that is, Mr. President, seeing that and with the support from subnational, that is the evidence of your decisive and necessary decisions. Beyond taxation, fiscal governance has been strengthened through improved remittance system, enhanced transparency mechanism, and tighter control on public finance flows. And if to put this in perspective, Mr. President, May 2023, when you assumed office, the total money available for the Federation was 711 billion. By September 2025, it was 3.6 trillion. That is 400% above what you inherited. And that you can see from the commissioning we've done in the state, they will all allude to the fact that you've given them what no government in the history of Nigeria has given to them. Trade has been modernized through the recently launched National Single Window, reducing inefficiency and strengthening revenue assurance. This 10 years before now, we've attempted 6 times to do National Single Window. Under 2 years, to be specific, March 27, in conjunction with Custom, and the rest will launch National Single Window within 2 years under your able leadership. Thank you, Mr. President. In energy reforms, the revolutionary sales of crude in Naira initiative has repositioned the sector from fiscal burden to a stabilizing anchor for the economy, especially at this crucial time. Across these areas, what we are witnessing is not an isolated but coordinated transformation of a fiscal state. Mr. President, if you will permit me to illustrate in empirical terms the 3 critical decisions and policy that you've done that has revitalized Nigeria economy. And with your permission, Mr. President, I will just list them with practical example. First, on your first day in office, you remove fuel subsidy. And to put it in perspective, the removal of fuel subsidy was not a policy choice, but it was a fiscal necessity. And I just want to put it in perspective. Mr. President, if you've not taken that courageous decision that day, I want to paint the picture of where we have been today. At price of $120 per barrel, our subsidy budget today will have been between 38 to 58 trillion per annum if you've not removed subsidy. With your policy, we have 0 budget for that today. And people may not understand that figure. I want to put it in perspective. The total budget that we have passed by National Assembly, waiting for your assent, is 68 trillion. Just imagine that 52 trillion out of that 68 is just for subsidy, if you've not removed it. That would be 76% of the total budget would have gone to the wasteful spending that through grace of God and your courageous decision, you've removed. And our net reserves will have been $2 billion. Today, the net reserve is 34 billion, the highest in the history of Nigeria. If you've not taken that decision, Mr. President, our debt service today will have been 100%, more than all we generated. And that is simple. If you take 78% out of the total budget, and then you've had debt that we've had even before I was born, you can see that we will have been in 150% of the total budget. This you've done. We are moving towards below 50%. Thank you, Mr. President. The second decision that you've taken, it is unification of exchange rate. Today, if you've not done anything, Mr. President, exchange rate will still be within 460 to 700, depending. And the parallel market will have been 3,000 to 4,500 per dollar. Today, we have exchange rate at 1.3, depending, to 1.5. In the last, very stable, and for the first time in the last 10 years of our administration. Today, there is not even parallel markets. Nobody wants to go there again because there is no difference. External reserves today is 34 billion. If you've not done anything, we'll be under 2 billion. And inflation will have been around 20%. Because if you just extrapolate that, and then today inflation is under 15%, this is just to say how lucky we are to have you as a president at this time. If you've not taken that decision, Mr. President, petrol supply security today will have joined the queue. Not only that it will be expensive, it will not still be available. Today, we have stable because it's easier to say wait for Lekki than wait for Europe. Thank you, Mr. President. Now, I said Nigeria pump price today because people say price is expensive, it's expensive. And that is why, as you taught me, that I must be data-driven. That's why I come with the data, because I know what I'm listening. I don't want to give the word that people... Mr. President, the price in Nigeria today is 0.88 cents, which is less than $1. In the United States, is $1.70, which is 22% higher. In India, is 25% higher. In South Africa, is 35% higher. And if you do global, today, Mr. President, we are 50% lower than the price. This is just because you allow local refineries to work. And to put it in perspective, before you clap, I'm a student of economics. I read political philosophy in the history of the world. I don't know if anybody here can tell me where we've sold the crude or the resources in currency that is not currency of foreign reserves. It is due to its innovation. I remember vividly on that Sunday when you called me and you said, Zach, put your pen and your notes. I want to sell crude in Naira. I said, Mr. President, crude is always benchmarked in dollar. Say yes. Go and do this. You make impossible possible. We don't know you've seen the future. Thank you, Mr. President, that we don't have queue today. We don't have the queue today, and then we have availability. Not only that we have it, just recently I read, Aliko supplies 17 cargoes to help other African countries, from net importer to net exporter. Mr. President, thank you for your courage. This is indeed what visionary leadership looks like, Mr. President. The ability to take difficult decisions, align institutions, and translate reform into measurable outcomes that reposition a nation, not for the present, but for the future. Your Excellency, if I may say, only a leader with clarity of purpose, courage of conviction, and commitment to long-term national interests can drive change at this scale. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like us to pause for a moment. May I respectfully request that we all rise to recognize and honor a true visionary reformer, the president of federal, of the tangible expression of that reform journey, a feasible, enduring symbol that reform is not abstract but real, not temporary but structural, not theoretical but implemented. It is also important to recognize that this achievement has come through a demanding and often complex journey. Tax reform is not always elegant at inception. It is technical, contested, and requires sustained alignment across institutions. It demands discipline, patience, and resilience. Yet, through persistence and clarity of direction, what once appeared difficult has produced something coherent, structured, and lasting national value. Today, we celebrate this as a success story, a defining milestone in Nigeria's fiscal transformation. Permit me to express my sincere appreciation to Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, who is unavoidably absent attending to national call at the Washington, my boss, my papa, whose guidance, intellectual leadership, and unwavering commitment have been instrumental in shaping both the direction and execution of this reform. Additionally, the Honorable Minister of State for Finance, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, who led the reform we see today. Your stewardship has provided both clarity and momentum, and we are deeply grateful for the technical acumen that you channel to deliver on groundbreaking reform before us. Thank you. My appreciation goes to our supervising committee, and by extension to the Speaker and my papa, the Senate President. Thank you for accommodating me. Thank you for treating me as a son. Thank you for all you've done for me. And thank you, Senator 313 and my Egbon, James Falike, for accepting me not returning those calls. Thank you. Mr. President, considering that this project started 22 years ago, you can imagine the number of cost overrun, but because of innovation and brilliance and understanding the new hope agenda of Mr. President, the DG has really helped. The only extension I have, sir, is that the only extension I will have, sir, is that if you would direct him that he should do the sampling. Because if you go around and you see this abandoned project, we've wasted capital, we've wasted value, but because of the limitation of the law in those days, they are still stored. All the money we spent wasted. The same thing he has done for us in Nigeria Revenue Service. If he can extend it to all other abandoned projects, Mr. President, we will have a lot. So, DG, I'm so grateful for your help that you've done for us, and so many others whose collaboration and guidance have contributed to this defining moment. Institutional transformation at this scale is never the work of one entity alone. It is the product of alignment, partnership, and shared national purpose. To our contractors and consultants, the CCECC, Stratford Hill, Baron Architecture, A.T. Onaide, and others, I commend your professionalism and commitment to excellence. You are entrusted not only with delivering a structure, but with delivering a standard. What stands before us today reflects that standard, one of precision, quality, and institutional dignity. To my colleagues of Nigeria Revenue Service, especially my predecessor here present, and those who could not make it, this moment belongs to you. You represent a dedicated and forward-looking team who have carried the weight of reform with discipline, professionalism, and resolve. Through transition, through pressure, and through heightened expectation, you have remained committed to building a service that reflects the aspiration of our nation. This headquarters is both a recognition of your effort and a platform for even greater performance. On a personal note, I stand here deeply grateful to God for the privilege of service and for the opportunity to witness the completion of the project of this magnitude. I am grateful to His Excellency the President for the opportunity, trust, and confidence you repose in me. Thank you, Mr. President. And also to my lovely wife for giving me domestic peace that allowed me to focus on my job. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And to my advisor, Mr. President, chief of them is my chief of staff, Mr. Tayo Koliosho. The transparency it enforces and the service it improves and the trust it builds between the Nigeria state and its citizens. It must stand as a center of excellence, a driver of innovation, and constant reminder that Nigerian institutions can function at the highest standard. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is a defining moment in Nigeria's fiscal journey. It affirms that reform is possible, that institutions can be rebuilt, and that with the right leadership and discipline, Nigeria can deliver outcomes that are both credible and transformative. It is therefore my honor and privilege to welcome you all to the commissioning of the Nigeria Revenue Service Headquarters, a symbol of reform, a monument to institutional renewal, and beacon of hope for stronger, more disciplined, and more prosperous Nigeria. Thank you. May the Lord bless Mr. President, and may the Lord bless Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Prosperity of Nigeria.
Speaker. Bring it closer. Remove it. Yes.
This building, the corporate headquarters of the Nigeria Revenue Service, was commissioned on the 14th day of April 2026 by His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. May this edifice stand as a lasting symbol of integrity in public service, embodying
the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Event. In brotherhood we stand to serve our sovereign. As we allow for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, His Excellency President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, to exit. Us for your kind words, your well wishes, and your commitment to all Nigerians. Thank you.